Quite often when I film slightly smaller boats, I get comments saying, is that Smuggler's Blues 3? And of course we all have a good laugh about that, but this one really could be. Let me show you why. This is a 2006 Sunseeker Portofino 35. It's the same year as Smuggler's Blues 2, in fact, which is also 2006. But this, of course, is a serious step up. And what I like about it, I know I use this expression a lot, but this really is classic Sunseeker. I'm going to take you on board, do the full tour, and explain exactly why. But right from the outside, look at these lovely sharp lines on it. For a 2006 boat, it looks fantastic. I love this windscreen, all stainless steel, and the way that the actual header rail there is sort of inset slightly. I think that's really smart and really sharp. The whole boat actually just looks great. Anyway, let's go on board and I'll give you the full tour. So we're going to step on, as ever, via this bathing platform. Some of the things I like, these are very much a Sunseeker detail. The way they shape these cleats with these two posts and then the crossbar going across, that looks great. And again, the stainless steel work in places like this, all really nice. There's a boarding ladder down underneath here, transom shower on this one as well. Quite a big deck locker as well, which is quite useful. So this one here, if we release these catches, opens up. So you can get fenders in there. In fact, you can see they've actually put little cutouts on the bottom so you can drop your fenders in and slot those away. These bits of black tubing, incidentally, are for the lighting, because the name is stainless steel but backlit. You can just see it around here. Of course, at night, that looks really impressive. In fact, the other thing that this boat's got is underwater lights. I don't know how well you can see them. You might be able to see the one on the side. Yeah, just down there, you might be able to see it. It's changing colour actually. You can have white or blue, and currently it's doing both intermittently. But lights on the side and down underneath at night, that's great because it gives you a glow in the water on the back of the boat and it attracts the fishies, so you have your own little aquarium. Anyway, let's step on board. I'm going to give you the tour on this one. This then is the seating area around the cockpit where Jack the Sack's taking it easy. This table will drop down, so you can make that into a sunbathing area if you want, but it's a great little social space. Got the bimini on this one, as you can see, that goes right the way across. This infills all the way around, so you can enclose this whole area with canopies when the weather's not quite so nice, or you can pack these away completely and have this all as an open cockpit. Over on this side is the wet bar, so in here you've got a little sink just there, and that one then is a cool box. Chuck a load of ice in there, keep your drinks cold. And there's some nice practical details like the sturdy rail around here, so when you're moving around the cockpit you've got something to hold on to. Cup holders down this side, you've got stereo speakers in here as well. There's some subtle upgrades that's been kept very original, but there are just a few things, like for example these LED lights across here, and it's the same up at the helm, because normally at this age they'd have the walnut dashboard, which is looking pretty dated now. This one's been upgraded. They've basically given it a carbon fibre look wrap, which looks fantastic, and the steering wheel as well, that's been upgraded with one of the latest ones. Even got the little weighted centre boss, so as you turn that stays as it is. So lift bolster seat, as you can see, it's in the lift position at the minute. That means you can stand here, means you can lean back against that. You've got a great view out across the front of the boat, and it's a great place to drive the boat from. But if you're cruising longer distance, you might want to drop that seat down, so that just does that. And then you can sit on here. You're much more sheltered by the screen, and that's a better position for a long distance cruising. Engine controls are here, trim tab controls are here, bow thruster on this one as well. That's a remote control for the stereo, that little fella there, and then switch gear for your nav lights and other lighting, echo sounder, wipers and so forth. And then that then is a multifunction display, so that's showing charts at the moment. There's also a great seating area right next to the helm, and this is raised up slightly. You can see a step just there, which means that people can sit here when you're cruising down the coast. You can chat with the helmsman. You've got a great view out across the front. You can get probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 people around here. Very social space, great when you're underway. Or you can sit this way, facing backwards, and then you've got more seating, of course, as we saw as we came on the back of the boat. So lovely social cockpit area. That works really well. But I think my favourite bit is when we step down inside. Come and take a look at this. Now this is what I mean when I say classic Sunseeker. Look at this with this beautiful cherry wood. It just works. You've got these thick cappings along in places like this lovely worktop on here. It's just glorious all the way around. Very, very nice indeed. It's all electric cooking on this one. It has a generator, so this will work even if you're out at anchor. And then it's got things like the original, see if I can show you, Sunseeker crockery. And if we open this one, the original Sunseeker cutlery. I say it's a really original boat. And again, very much of the era, and again, very nice, is this cream leather and dark blue carpet. It's what they all seem to have back in the day, and it still looks terrific. This is all storage along the top here. You've got a great seating area down here, so of an evening you can come down and have a drink. There's also, that's on a telescopic leg, so you can drop that down and make that into an extra berth if you want to, but it does have two cabins. I'll show you those in just a minute. Over on this side then is the electrics. So your AC services are here, your generator start stop is here. You can see the voltage on these gauges here, so we're on 12 volts and the amount of amps that are being used, and then this is all your 12 volt switch gear, so everything from the VHF radio to the autopilot to the lights and so on. Holding tank on this one as well for the toilet, and a stereo up here in the corner. That's what that remote control in the cockpit was controlling. Again, all this beautiful cherry woodwork against the cream leather. It's very much Sunseeker. Love it. Let's head on forward. And in here is the master cabin. So there's a double bed in here. It's offset to one side, but really good size, and actually pretty good headroom in here as well. If I come into here, you can see I'm 6'2" and plenty of room to stand and get changed and so on. And again, these little bits of cherry fillets along here, and at the head of the bed there's a hatch overhead for a bit of ventilation, and then this is storage over on this side, and then opposite that a hanging locker. But that's a decent cabin, and it's not the only cabin, because if we come back a bit further, I will pause briefly to show you the heads. That is in here. So we have a shower, there's a curtain that comes round, so you can just curtain this area off, then the toilet is in there of course, and the wash basin, this lovely glass wash basin, and then again bits of storage up in places like this, and some spare toilet roll. Always useful. Let's come back from here. That's the galley that we've looked at, but then if we go back again, we'll find another cabin. Now what they've done with this quite cleverly is this runs back underneath the cockpit. So that seating area that I was showing you, that's up around, lift this up a little bit so you can see better, up around here, what that does, if we come down and in, is it gives us headroom as we go into here. So you can see how that seat wraps around, and that means we can walk right into here, loads of headroom, and it just drops down over the beds, where of course you don't need it so much because you're lying down. But that, again, lovely cabin, great for guests or kids or whoever you want to put in here. Makes this a proper boat for 4 people to go away on and stay on. A week or two on here would be no problem at all. Switches in the centre for the lights, and you've got little reading lights in here as well. And there's a seat in here. You could come and tuck yourself away if you wanted to. I don't know, maybe with a good book or something. And then over here, this is storage. So there's a hanging locker in there, and more storage, loads of it actually, in places like this, and over here. So it is pretty well equipped. As I say, if you wanted to spend some decent amount of time on this boat, you could do it. For a 35-foot boat, it's great. And now into here again, back into the saloon area. Look at this wood though, look at the way they finished this. I am, as you probably guessed, a bit giddy over this one. Let's go and look at the engines. They're back here. Teak in the cockpit, again, very nice. Pop the old shoes back on. But before we do that, in fact, because I nearly forgot, let's take a turn around the outside. Steps up here, these take us onto the side decks. So it's an easy step up. And then we're along here, past this lovely bit of stainless steel. There's the windscreen. Look at that, what a lovely sweep that is. And up onto the foredeck. Now there are some bathing cushions that you can have up here. I'm not sure if this boat has them, but it has the tracks for them, so I'm guessing there's a good chance it does. Easy to get retrofitted if it doesn't. Electric anchor winch on this one, you can see the buttons for it either side. And then down underneath here, that's the winch, and then the anchor chain locker is just ahead of it. But this is a great place to come because when we stand up here, that's a good looking boat, isn't it? I like that very much indeed. Anyway, let's go and check out those engines. So we're back down this side. Back down into the cockpit. And normally on a boat of this size, you get typically a pair of Volvo D4 300s. Not in here. Because what we have in here is a pair of Volvo D6s. These are 350 horsepower each. And they're giving this boat about 40 knots. It's a flying machine. 40 knots means that you've got a very easy 30 knot cruise. You can probably cruise at 35 in fact. So yeah, it's got some serious legs. Means that if you want to cruise up to Poole for the weekend from Torquay, well then you're sort of, you know, 2.5, 3 hours away. That's very, very doable. Batteries are in here. That's what's in that box just there. There's a generator. I don't know whether you can see it, but it's outboard of that engine, that white box on the outside. That's the 240 volt generator, runs from diesel. You've got obviously bilge pumps in this area. It's all pretty clean for the age of the boat. Fuel filters are in here as well. Superb. So there we go, all low level lighting in here as well. It's all very nicely done. Let's go and finish up at the helm. So, Smuggler's Blues 3, is it a contender? It certainly is. I'm not in the market just at the minute, but if I was, I think I'd be beating down the door for this one. I think it's great. Really, really lovely boat. Anyway, there it is. Hope you've enjoyed that one. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. And thanks to Sultan's Brokerage as well, who have this one for sale. I'll put their details in the description. If you're interested, then give those guys a shout. And if you buy it, give me a shout. Take me out for a spin. Show me what I'm missing. Thanks very much for watching. We'll catch you in another one. Take care. Bye-bye.